Meditation is a powerful means of self-knowledge and spiritual growth, through which we can achieve unity with universe, salvation, wisdom and inner peace. The ancient knowledge given by Lord Krishna to Uddhava, which was given about 5,000 years ago, has a special method of meditation which is extremely important for spiritual growth. By adopting this knowledge, we can make our lives spiritually rich and meaningful. Lord Krishna tells Uddhav ji, our mind and intellect are influenced by three qualities. First one is Sattva, which means goodness, knowledge and peace. Second quality is Rajas, which means activity, desire and emotions, and the last third one is Tamas, which means evil, ignorance and laziness. The balance of these qualities determines our life. Therefore, by increasing the Sattva guna, Rajas and Tamas are controlled and our life moves in a positive and spiritual direction. In this way we can fill our lives with peace, wisdom and self-control. Uddhava asked, O Shri Krishna, people know that worldly pleasures lead to sorrow. Then why do they still desire them? The Lord said, a person who is confused has a sense of me and mine with his body and senses, which gives rise to Rajas guna and becomes the root of suffering. In the mind afflicted with Rajas, the desire and longing for worldly objects increases, due to which the person is unable to control the senses and performs sorrowful actions. But the prudent person controls the mind afflicted with Rajas and Tamas, subdues the senses and concentrates on the Lord. The Lord's teaching is to control the breath, keep the posture steady, and concentrate the mind and focus on me. This is the path of yoga. Uddhava asked, O Shri Krishna, what is this illusion of your worldly form? Shri Krishna said, the bodies of all living entities are made up of the 5 elements and are the same from the viewpoint of the ultimate truth. Whatever is perceived by the mind, expressed by speech, and seen by the senses, all that is me. There is nothing else besides me. Know this by seeking the truth. The mind gets attached to the sense objects and enjoys worldly pleasures. But the nature of the soul is like me and is different from the senses and the mind. Therefore, the living soul can easily get free from the bondage of the mind and senses by remembering its divine nature. One should become one with me and, knowing his true nature, renounce the sense objects enjoyed by the mind. Waking, dream and deep sleep, these 3 states are of the mind, not of the soul. They are caused by the influence of the 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. The soul is separate from these 3 because it is the witness of them. Since the actions of the 3 gunas become associated with the soul by the identification of the soul with intelligence, the soul should renounce this identification by being situated in me, who is beyond the 3 states. Thereafter, there is separation of objects and mind. Until the sense of the reality of the various worldly objects is removed from the mind, the foolish person continues to sleep even when he is awake, like being awake in a dream. The soul is the only reality. The body and all the objects of the world are under the illusion of worldly Maya. Waking, dream and deep sleep, these 3 states cover the soul, but the soul is beyond them. To know the soul, one has to give up the ego of, I am this is mine, and the illusion of the world. Then the soul appears in its true form. Uddhava asked Shri Krishna, scholars who know the Vedas tell many ways to attain salvation. Do these ways depend on the choice of the seeker, or is any one way the best? Shri Krishna said, the path of devotion, which joins the mind to me, is superior to other ways. This path of devotion is destroyed in the Pralaya, but in the next creation I gave it back to Brahma. In the world some people tell religion, some fame, some worldly pleasures, some truth and self-control, some wealth and power, some renunciation, and some happiness as the path to salvation. Some people tell yajna, tapasya, dan, vrata and self-sacrifice as the path to salvation. But all these are karmas and the results of these karmas are temporary and they all cause only sorrow. Uddhava said, O lotus-eyed Lord, Now tell me, in what form and how should the people who are seeking salvation meditate on you? Lord Krishna said, Dear Uddhava, first of all, the yogi should sit on a seat which is neither too high nor too low. He should sit comfortably on the seat with his body straight, keep his hands in his lap and focus his gaze on the front part of his nose. After this, purify the nerves through these pranayams, Purak, Kumbhak and Rechak, Kumbhak and Purak. 1. Purak, taking air into the lungs through breathing. 2. Kumbhak, holding the breath in the lungs before exhaling. 3. Rechak, exhaling the breath. The yogi should gradually increase the practice of pranayam, and along with it, he should also try to conquer the senses. Along with these 3 pranayams, meditate on a very subtle Om in the heart and take Om from the heart upwards to the intellect through the breath or prana. Practice pranayam with Omkar 10 times 3 times a day. By doing this, within a month, the life force of a person comes under control. After this, the yogi should contemplate that the heart is a lotus flower and it is situated inside the body in such a way as if its stem is upwards and the mouth is downwards. Now one should contemplate that the lotus has bloomed with its mouth facing upwards. It has 8 petals and in the middle there is a very beautiful cushion in the form of a rim. Now one should contemplate that on this cushion the sun, moon and fire are established respectively. After that one should remember this form of mine inside the fire. This form of mine is very auspicious for meditation. The structure of each of my body parts is very well shaped. Peace is dripping from every pore. The lotus face is very blooming and beautiful with happiness. There are 4 beautiful arms long till the knees, a very beautiful and charming neck. The beautiful cheeks are shining like emeralds. There is a unique shade of a slow smile on the face. The ears on both sides are equal and elephant pearl-shaped earrings are glittering in them. Wearing yellow clothes on my dark body like the clouds of rainy season. The symbols of Srivatsa and Lakshmi Ji are seated on the right and left of my chest. Holding a conch, a chakra, a make and a lotus flower in each hand respectively, I have a garland of forest flowers around my neck, anklets adorn my feet, the Kaustubha gem is glittering around my neck. The crown, bracelets, girdle and armlets are shining in their places. The pendant of the crown is enhancing the beauty of my entire body. Each of my body parts is extremely beautiful and captivating. My beautiful face and loving glances are showering blessings. Uddhav, you should meditate on this delicate form of mine and concentrate your mind on each of my body parts. By withdrawing the senses from their objects with the help of the mind and by withdrawing the mind from all objects with the help of the intellect, a wise man should concentrate on me. Having concentrated his mind on my form, he should now fix it on my face alone. He should not think of other parts and should concentrate all his thoughts on my face, which is adorned with a charming smile. Once the mind is fixed on my face, he should fix it on my all-pervading universal form which pervades everything and is unattached to everything. And transcending that also, he should not think of anything else with the aim of becoming one with me. Then, being established in the intellect, he sees me in myself and himself merged in the universal self, just as the fire and its light become one. A sadhak who concentrates his mind in this way in deep meditation gets rid of the illusion of this false body as the real, and he realizes the real knowledge of the soul. When the sadhak controls his senses, life and mind and starts fixing his mind on me, many siddhis, supernatural powers, appear before him. These 8 siddhis are naturally present in me and those to whom I give them, receive them partially. 1. Anima Siddhi, ability to make oneself subtle. 2. Mahima Siddhi, ability to make oneself big and huge. 3. Garima Siddhi, ability to make one's body as heavy as one wants. 4. Laghima Siddhi, ability to make oneself light. 5. Prapti Siddhi, ability to create anything. 6. Prakamya Siddhi, ability to take any form. 7. Ishita Siddhi, knowing and controlling every entity. 8. Vashita Siddhi, ability to control life and death. Apart from this, by developing Sattva-guna, the yogi also gets 15 other siddhis. 1. Body does not feel hungry or thirsty. 2. Seeing distant objects. 3. Hearing distant things. 4. Body can reach any place quickly with the mind. 5. Taking any form as desired. 6. Entering another's body. 7. Leaving the body when desired. 8. Seeing the divine play with Apsaras. 9. Sankalp Siddhi, realization of resolve. 10. Getting everyone to agree to your words without any hesitation. 11. Knowing about the past, present and future. 12. Being free from heat, cold, happiness, sorrow and discrimination. 13. Knowing what is in another's mind. 14. Controlling the power of fire, sun, water and poison. 15. Not being defeated by anyone. By attaining these siddhis, the yogi gets unique powers and abilities. But Lord Krishna says that for those whose sole aim is to be free from the bondages of karma and to be absorbed in them, attaining these siddhis is an obstacle, because due to them time is wasted. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or concerns about this meditation process, our experts are here to help. Schedule a personalized session to clarify your doubts and deepen your practice.